Virginia the third I am, Virginia the third I am. Mommy named me from her mommy for sure, and she was named from her mommy before. And everyone was Virginia. We wouldn't have a Susie or a Pam, nor a Pam. I'm the third little girl, Virginia. Virginia the third I am. Virginia the third I am. This is a song my grandmother wrote for me before I was born. Virginia the third I am, but when I look into myself, I don't see one singular Virginia. I see pieces of Regan, Zach, Quentin, Hampton, Grant, Aiden, and Gable. These are the people who have sculpted me. Only two of these names I've mentioned are people above the age of 14, and those are Regan and Zach, my parents. Although I credit my existence to them, and I've learned tremendous amounts from their stellar parenting tactics, I look deeply into myself and see the lessons taught to me by a 6-year-old boy and a 3-year-old girl. It may be difficult for some of you to believe, but some of my most humbling moments were handed to me by a rambunctious 4-year-old boy with a lisp. I know many other aspects of my life have shaped me into who I am today, things like Oldfields and riding, but they are unmatched when I compare them to the lessons I've learned from the children that make up the Carlisle family. So I'm going to devote these 5 minutes to the 5 who test me beyond my limits, but at the same time soften my heart. I'm going to begin with Kenneth Quentin, my brother, the one who ruined my chances of me being the center of attention for the rest of my life. I'm sure you're going to be cringing at the thought of me saying I love you in front of 180 people, but you're 14 and I love to embarrass you. Because when I was 14, I was always the victim of your public exhibits of nonsense. Needless to say, you made me cringe. A lot. But when I think of my childhood, I think of you. I remember waking up at 7 a.m. to microwave a whole box of frozen Eggo pancakes and playing with Nerf guns in the East Texas heat. Although these things will rest in my mind, you've given me much more than just memories. You're the most loyal person I've ever met, and if I weren't your sister, I would hope to God I could be your friend. The way you treat people around you is the most honorable thing I've seen. You give everyone a chance, and you're sensitive to others' differences and their feelings, which is something I have a hard time with. I want to be the kind of friend you are. Quentin, you've also taught me patience. I've never met anyone who takes 5 whole minutes to get out of the car or miraculously has to use the bathroom right when the waitress brings the food to the table and makes everyone scooch out of the booth. You balance me out. My judge's mind becomes less critical when I'm with you, and you've shown me that being 100% yourself is necessary for success, even if it takes 5 whole minutes. To Hampton, my second brother. First off, I'm sorry Dad and I made you say things like suffering succotash when you had a terrible lisp. You're the classic third child, always taking the middle seat in the car and never having weight in choosing where we go to dinner. You're always along for the ride, and this is the lesson I've learned from you. I like to have my life planned out, each moment of the day meticulously scheduled. Hampton, you're the king of going with the flow. I hate going with the flow, but you've slowed me down and shown me that letting go brings the excitement in life. The things that aren't planned are the most impressionable and beautiful. You're the quote-unquote cool kid, but you don't let it get to your head. You're a laxer and football player. You've also got that hair that swoops over your freckled face, but you don't have an ego. You're friendly and kind-hearted. You always have others' best interest at heart. I'm proud of how dynamic you are. You've taught me a great deal already. To Grant, my cousin, if I'm going to be honest here, I cried when I found out you were a boy. Being the first Carlisle girl in 85 years is hard to bear on just two shoulders, and having 2 brothers with a boy cousin on the way, my future was starting to look like snips, snails, and puppy dog tails. Grant, our relationship is like that of grandparents and grandchildren. I get to love on you for a period of time, and then I get to escape when the going gets tough. But now you've grown older, and I cherish every second with you and your vibrant personality. You're so lively and full of knowledge, more than I ever had at your age. You've taught me that being right is a good thing, to voice my opinion when necessary, stating my thoughts with confidence. I have to believe in what I say, even if others think it's absurd. You're a natural leader, and I guess that just comes with being a first child. Your adventurous mind urges you to share your newfound knowledge with everyone who will listen. It's very admirable. I'm proud to call you my first cousin, and I can't believe the valuable things you've taught me already. Aiden, another boy. I also cried at the announcement of your gender, but I love you and you're the toughest thing out there. Nothing can knock you down. I'm impressed with your resilience and sheer determination you have when completing a task. You're so confident at such a young age, and this is something I'm still working on. You've taught me that confidence can change the way you see the world around you. It makes you believe that anything you want to achieve is up for grabs, and you go through each day with this mentality. You've also shown me the negative side of confidence. You can't have too much and still be respected. For example, calling your mom woman when you don't get your way isn't the best approach. Even with your natural rambunctious demeanor, you have the sweetest heart, and you're extremely sure about what you want, which is an impressive quality to have at 7 years old. Gable Lane, finally, when to my surprise I found out you were a girl, my mom was probably relieved she wouldn't have to witness another breakdown. I waited 15 years for you, and you're the perfect girl for this family. You're bossy. Most people see this attribute in a negative light, but when you have 5 boys to corral, bossiness is necessary for survival. You've taught me a number of things, and I can't wait for the years to come when you develop more to your already complex personality. I love you dearly. These 5 kids are looked over by most. Children should be seen and not heard is the quote that wrestles in my mind. If that statement were true, then I would probably be the most impatient, unadventurous, closed-minded, insecure, and compliant person out there. Children are the most transparent people. They are untouched by the harshness of the world, and they display their true selves to everyone around them. My lesson to you all is to listen to people younger than you. No, they don't always know what they're talking about, but they are the ones that squeeze the most out of life. Never let someone tell you you don't know what you're talking about. If you are fighting for something you deeply believe in, keep fighting and let them think you're wrong. You don't have to be born before 1980 to relate to a topic or have an opinion. You feel the same happiness, pain, and love as anyone else, and you could be the one to teach a lesson if they're open to listening. I've learned everything I've ever needed to know from children under the age of 14. No, they haven't had a job or felt the pain of truly losing someone or have experienced betrayal or greed like many of us who have been graced with age. But they sure know how to make something exciting out of nothing, and they know how it feels to be a human. And for this, I give them the right to be influential and impactful. They have taught me every lesson I've learned, and for that, I'm ready to say I'm Virginia Carlisle III, and I'm finally a 3-year senior.